Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and yes, I know it's been a little while. We've had kind of an emotional roller coaster this past month. There have been 2 deaths close near me, and there's also been a lot of transition, and I thought I would just briefly go over that. I had moved into this really nice elderly housing unit. It's like 24 units in it. I did give you a little house tour, and actually it wound up getting like 31,000 views. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I guess everybody's nosy. I want to see how everybody lives. But I had, because of the comments and because of actually viewing the video myself, I made changes in the apartment, and it's different now. It's actually a little different now. I made some positive changes to different areas in the kitchen and things, and I stored things differently. So thank you for your help. A lot of you did give some good advice, and just the fact that I recommend this to any of you. Film your house inside, and you're going to see a whole new view of it. You'll see where it looks cluttered. You'll see where things don't look very, I don't know, pulled together. But anyway, that video was very successful for me, and it got me a lot more subscribers. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. One of the things that I did do also recently was a video about thrifting clothing, and I don't know if I really brought out the importance of going to thrift stores and consignment stores to recycle clothing that's already been made. But it's really quite horrible how the fashion industry every season, every year, uses tons and tons and tons of fabrics, dyes, forever chemicals, and a lot of that stuff winds up in the ocean. It winds up in the earth, in landfills. A lot of it is fast fashion, like the Temu and some of the Amazon stuff, and AliExpress. There's a lot of places where the clothing is very, very cheap, and it's so tempting to say, oh, well, even if I only wear it a couple times, it's worth it. Well, it's not worth it to the planet. You're really doing an injustice to future generations. A lot of the fast fashion clothing that you can get is cheap microplastics, and these microplastics slip through filters, and they wind up in ocean life. They wind up in the coral, they wind up in the fish, they wind up in the ocean itself, and it's actually hurting the planet a great deal. And it's actually in our own bodies. We've got a lot of it there. And we got a long way to go in that area. But if you can buy clothing that's already made, you can buy, there's a better variety of styles. You can find your colors if you're doing the color season thing, which I'm going to go into in detail. I'm going to redo that Color Me Beautiful video that I did back in 2015 and redo it and update it, because there's now 16, and then there's even some brave souls who have started a 25 seasonal palette groupings of colors. So I'm going to go over that with you. But I just wanted to bring up like the safe fabrics like wools and cottons, organic cottons, and silks, goat hair, alpaca. There's a lot of different natural fibers really that are so much better for you personally and also for the planet. And recycling and buying clothing that is in a used clothing store or a consignment store, you can't get any better than that. And I'm telling you, I think you can find so much better styles than just the generic stuff. I went shopping with my sister because she does not buy used clothing. She only goes to new stores. And we were in a J.C. Penney, and we were looking at all these clothes, and they were so overpriced and they were so cheaply made. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, and she wanted to get some capris, of course. It's my sister. And I just wow, you know, you're going to pay, you know, $40 for a pair of this when you could get them for probably $7 or $8 at the thrift store. But she feels funny about buying clothes that somebody else has worn or somebody else has bought. A lot of the clothes in a thrift store are brand new, and they've been donated by the stores themselves because they didn't sell them. They donate them and they get a tax break for it. So don't thumb your nose up at consignment and thrift stores. It's no longer some place where just cheap homeless or whatever people just schlep into to find some clothing. It is not like that anymore. And in fact, a lot of people are making quite lucrative living off of buying nice clothing in thrift stores and then upselling it. I have my own opinion about that. However, I can still find clothes that I like, and I can tell you that most of my clothes, I'd say 90% of my clothes come from thrift stores. And I get compliments all the time on my wardrobe, and I never used to. I always, you know, bought whatever high fashion was out, and whatever variant of the high fashion was out, and I would get, you know, what everybody else was wearing. I'd get tired of it, or it would be quickly out of fashion, and I'd have to buy something else to replace it. So just think about that with thrifting. My next in the series of surviving as a senior on a limited budget will be about food, and I think it'll be quite a striking video for you. You may be a little shocked. I do want to say that I got a part-time job because I guess I wasn't ready to retire, and many of you who have recently retired maybe can relate to this, but I just felt lost, you know, during the day. I was watching the birds and the trees outside. I was taking a little walk around the grounds. I was socializing with other people in the building. We had like a weekly coffee that we do. And it's all nice, and it's much better than the situation I had before. And I was in a really bad, rough area of town, paying a lot of money for rent and electricity and, you know, all the utility stuff. And I wasn't as happy there. And I was working, and the only difference I can see is that I had the money to go out and buy whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And that is completely different now. On a restricted budget, I can't just go out and get a new lipstick or a new mascara, or, you know, even go into the thrift store. I've got to, you know, kind of pare down my shopping instincts. In a way, it's been really good. It's been very healthy, and I'm seeing the world in a whole new light. And so this brings me to the channel. I mean, this channel has traditionally been a makeup review channel. Right when I started, I was, you know, reviewing Mary Kay stuff back in 2013 when I first started. And then by 2016, I was caught in with everybody else, getting heavy PR sent to me for free to review from companies. I was making up, like, you know, doing the whole thing with everybody else. It was the peak of makeup in the country. Everybody was into it. Well, then it became a big money-making entity. A lot of people left their jobs and just did YouTube because they got so much money every month from just doing reviews on makeup. They love makeup. It was a great deal. It was great. It was working really well until 2019, 2020, when the pandemic hit and everybody was inside. Suddenly the interest in makeup kind of waned, and people were more interested in their surroundings, into redecorating, downsizing. The minimalist stuff started, and I kind of fell into that group too. I really found less and less interesting about makeup. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I wear makeup every day of my life. I don't leave the house without makeup on. So that's not it, you know. It's what it is I just wasn't rushing out to get the new MAC themed release. I wasn't rushing out to get the new ColourPop eye palette. I wasn't rushing out to get the new L'Oreal whatever, you know, release that they had. It just wasn't of interest, and I was no longer a rouge at Sephora. I had been a rouge for 10 years straight, and then I was no longer a rouge, and it was kind of a weird demotion, if you will, when I went to the Sephora big sale last year, and I was just a VIB. You know, I was like, well, okay, I only get 10% off. It just felt so like kicked to the corner. I think a lot of us did. You know, we had been such strong supporters of Sephora and Ulta, and suddenly we were nothing to them. So I'm pretty much more of an Ulta shopper now and a drugstore, but quite frankly, the pricing is horrific right now all over the place. And as you know, prices are rising. So, you know, some of my friends and colleagues on here, some other creators who also do makeup reviews, a lot of them are over 50. You know, Mrs. Melissa M, Hot and Flashy, Risa does makeup, you know, and then there's a lot of makeup artists who are, you know, stepping up. I'd rather let them do the extreme makeup reviews, and if I find something I like, I'll talk about it, but it's not going to be the bulk of my channel anymore. And I know some of you may find that disappointing, but honestly, they do it better than I ever did. And I'm going to let them take the reins there. And I'm just going to talk about being a senior and dealing with daily life as a retired senior on a budget. Now, with the little part-time job that I have, that'll give me a little bit extra spending cash so I can go places like fairs and powwows, and I can buy a little makeup here and there. I can buy some clothes here and there. But I'm going to talk about a little bit of everything, I think, when I do these videos. So hopefully that will mesh with you. There were a couple of bad things. As I mentioned in the beginning, there were a couple of deaths. The lady who was the caretaker of this building, she's the one I interviewed with back in November to get this apartment. And she's the one who pushed to get me in, and she was really sweet. She was in her 50s. She lived next door to me, and she was my neighbor. And she was found suddenly a couple weeks ago, and she had had some health issues running, but it was a big surprise. She was found, passed away by a friend of hers who did a wellness check because she hadn't heard back from her, and they usually talk all the time. So I went to that funeral, and it was really sad. Beth was a really sweet person, and now they're looking for a new caretaker for the building, and they're it's a little bit up in arms right now. All of us feel the sadness, and there's kind of a heaviness in the building. The other death that occurred was on May 5th. That was my brother. My oldest brother, Ralph, passed away. I had gone to see him back in 2022. I drove across country because there was supposed to be a train strike at the time, and I went with a friend of mine across country by car to go and visit with him and see him. His wife was concerned that he didn't have much time left. He had severe dementia and did not know who I was half of the time. Half of the time he knew who I was, and half of the time he didn't. We had a nice conversation. It was a good visit. It was a little disturbing. It's a disturbing thing when you are with a loved one who is not themselves. You know, it's very difficult. But his wife is just, I was helping her with the obituary. I'm doing a slide presentation for the service. I'm not going to be able to make it to Reno to go to the service, but I'm going to do everything I can from a distance. All of our family is so divided, you know, geographically, that none of us are able to make it to the service. But anyway, so that was the other, you know, death, and I've just not felt like, you know, sitting in front of a camera and, you know, just chit-chatting lightly about things. But I'm excited to start my job. I went for training this past week, and so I start my job officially next week, and I'm looking forward to that. The paycheck will be very helpful, and the you know, just getting out in the public again and you know, helping people is really good. So I'm very happy with that. That's a good thing. I wanted to talk about a website that I clicked on. It was an ad for hairstyles, and they showed a woman who said, oh, find your perfect hairstyle, and it showed a woman with different hairstyles, and it was really cool, and I thought, oh, that app looks interesting. So I clicked on it, and I wanted to warn you about this ad because I think it's far more than it seems. First of all, you go on there and they say, well, give us 3 pictures. What's your name, your first name, and then give us 3 pictures of yourself. You can take them right here. We'll take different angles of your face, close up, and we'll analyze. AI will analyze your face shape, and then we'll give you, 200 hairstyles to see, what they look like on your face with your face shape. And I thought, oh, isn't that great? So I uploaded the 3 pictures to them of my face. They had my name, I have my email, and then the next page was, okay, it's only $7.99 for a 1-month subscription, and enter a card here. And I thought, oh, I don't want to pay money to this strange place. Now they have my pictures, 3 different pictures of my face for identity theft. They have my email, they have my first name. So I just wanted to warn you about that. Don't do the picture thing. I mean, it looks like it's a lot of fun, but honestly, I think I got scammed. I really do. In March, I was in the No Kings protest with my friend. There was a lot of people there. There was a lot of great music being played. There was a lot of camaraderie. And I have since joined the Indivisible movement. So I had been really refraining from discussing any politics at all, and I probably will not on this channel, but I just thought I'd let you know that I am an active member of the Indivisible group, and I'm very proudly fighting for the rights of the people in this country. When I buy clothing in a consignment store or like a thrift store, I always wash it. I don't care what it is, I wash it. Anything with fabric from a thrift store or a consignment store needs to be washed. And one of the things that I add to the wash is this, borax. This is it actually came from a desert, and when you're a little kid, many of you will remember those ads with the 20 mule team. Taken this like covered wagon in the middle of a desert. We never really understood that, but it's an actual mineral that's in the soil, in the ground, and it's something that's quite good for cleaning. So borax, I measured out 1/2 cup portions out of this box. I poured them into 1/2 cup portions, and I put 1/2 cup into each laundry along with my regular laundry detergent, and it takes out stains, smells, anything. It's stuff that other detergent stuff didn't take out, this took out. Borax is an old school thing, and I'd highly recommend you look up borax, the videos, like all the uses for borax, because it's amazing how many things you can use borax for. And obviously they're not, sponsoring me or anything. Nobody sponsors me. I'm not monetized on YouTube. I don't get any money for anything, and I will never ask you for money, just so you know. Never. I will never email you on the side, nothing. So, okay, going into stuff. Let's go into some stuff because it's getting too heavy here. What in the world? I happen to be looking for, I like those Marie cookies. I think they're called Marie cookies. Maria cookies. They're like a thin, not too sweet wafer cookie. And next to them I saw these, and these are from, I believe, Ecuador. These are hot chocolate tablets. And what you do, I break mine in half and stick it in a cup, and then you heat up some milk, like 6 to 8 ounces of milk, and you put this in, and it dissolves in the milk and makes a nice cup of cocoa. This is really good for traveling. You can also use hot water for a less rich cup, but you can microwave your milk or water and then stick this in it. And what I do is I do 10 ounces of milk, and I use 2 of these broken up. They're really, really neat. They are a hot chocolate bar, and it makes a nice cup of cocoa. The third death, we lost him. Christopher Hopkins died in November last year. I guess he had possibly, it hasn't been released officially, but they think that he had a heart attack while he was swimming in a pool in his apartment complex. And they found him in the pool unresponsive. Christopher Hopkins, you know him, the makeover guy, him and his mom. His mom is still with us. They found him, and I guess they're having the service sometime this month, if not already late April, early May. But that was a very sad loss. I love this guy, the makeover guy. Now his company is still in operation, and they still do makeovers on people. It's just that it's not Christopher anymore. And I always thought that the haircuts he gave a lot of these women were just like his mom's haircut. You know, high in the back, like lifted in the back and kind of bobbed in the front. He did that with a lot of the women. But, you know, he cared so much about, you know, women and their mental well-being, and he used to be so supportive. I loved his show, and I loved listening to his mom. They called her the wardrobe lady, or the wardrobe mother, or the wardrobe woman. She used to give people good advice, but she's still with us. His husband is still with us. His husband of 30, I want to say 34 years he's been married, and he's just been, you know, making women feel great and doing full body makeovers, like with clothing and hair and makeup. And he's been doing it for so long, and I'm definitely gonna miss him. I think he's a wonderful personality. And if you didn't know, please look him up, Christopher Hopkins, and see if they've had the services yet for him. But his show, The Makeover Guy, is still carrying on without him. I think he would have wanted that. And it's just a very sad loss in our YouTube community. So, now I've talked about this in the past. This is the Jerome Alexander Airbrush foundation spray. You can get it on Amazon for like 19 bucks, and you get a brush with it. Let me see where that brush is. They give you a brush with it, so when you spray it onto the brush, it buffs it in perfectly. You spray it onto the brush, you shake it up, there's like a little rock in there or something. You spray it onto the brush, and then you can dab it, buff it into your face. You don't spray it onto your face. I did that once years ago. I sprayed it directly on my face. I didn't know any better. But anyway, you spray it on the brush in this. And I thought this was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I talked about it over and over again over the past few years, how much it worked really well. Well, I don't know if something changed in the formulation or I've got the wrong color. I thought I was getting the color I have always gotten. This oxidized to an orange color, a dark orange color, almost like I had a bad spray tan. And when I put it on, it was okay, but then over the next couple of hours, it oxidized. So I just wanted to warn you, maybe get the lighter shade of the, if you're between 2 shades of this, get the lighter shade, because it did oxidize up, and I was really surprised. And I'm wondering, maybe it was heat damaged, or, you know, they put the wrong color in the bottle. I don't know. It was just like, this used to be one of my favorite foundations. And I'm just so sad over the fact that I just don't want you to go out and buy it because I recommended it and then find that it did that to you. But it does oxidize now. So I don't know if that's a formula change, a defective one, but I've had probably 4 of these in the past and never had a problem. This one was purchased, I think, back in January when I first moved to this complex. So just thought I'd let you know about that. In the Dollar Tree, I mean, I did buy some new makeup, but in the Dollar Tree for $1.25, this is a Pro Luxe powder. This is new, and it's something that they have a couple of different types of products, but I thought the powders looked very interesting. This is the translucent powder, and I'll be darned if this doesn't work as well as any of the translucent powders that I have tried from, you get a powder puff, and it is loose powder, so you do get that kind of smoky, gotta stay away from it. But it goes in so nicely. I mean, it is invisible under the eyes. It really is a nice little powder. And it's from the Dollar Tree. They had a special display of it out front. So I don't know if it's hit your Dollar Tree yet, but it is worth seeking it out. For $1.25, I think this is a wonderful option. Let me just check if there's talc in this, because that might be part of the problem. Oh, it has silica, starch, mica, and a glycerin. So it doesn't have talc. So that's good, because as you know, they're mining talc. They're getting asbestos fragments in with the talc when it's mined, and that can over time ravage you and be very harmful. So a lot of companies are re-releasing products without talc in them. And there's also another ingredient that they're re-releasing products without, like for instance the Estee Lauder just released a new variant of this without any talc in it, and a lot of people are saying the formulation's too different. Right now I'm a little mad at Estee Lauder because one of their founders is in the Epstein files, and I don't really want to be very supportive. And any company that Estee Lauder has taken over, like MAC or Urban Decay, or, you know, there's a lot of companies they've taken over, and they really, like Too Faced, they've ruined the companies. The thing that made those other companies good was ripped away when Estee Lauder took over. So I'm probably, as soon as this is gone, I'm not repurchasing this. This is the old formulation. I use this, actually this Prequel stuff. I mix a little of this with this, and it kind of thins it out a little bit, so it's not quite so thick and makeup-y. You know, it's a little bit lighter. I think mixing this with a lotion or an oil is a great idea because it's really thick, especially if you've got aging or textured skin. This doesn't do you any favors if you just put it on straight on. So Estee Lauder's Double Wear, I think that's history for me. I'm not buying anymore. And so from Marie Claire at the Dollar Tree, this was a big fail. This was their contour bronzing stick, and I thought there were two shades. It was a deep shade, or a medium deep, not really deep, and then there was this shade which looked like the shade that would be more appropriate for my fish belly white skin, and it's very, very light. I thought the consistency was nice, but look at the colors, just barely. It looks like a concealer that's too dark. It's too light to be any kind of even a bronzer or a contour. It was such a disappointment, and it did not spread very well. It disappeared once I put it in. If you want to have a deeper tone and you have lighter skin like me, you could put it on underneath your regular foundation, and it may bring out more of a glow. But I can't see any use for a product like this. It definitely can't be used the way it's marketed to be used, as a contour bronzing stick. So that was a fail. Don't waste your money on it. I have been told that the mascara is really good. There's one that's Ultra mascara that's supposed to be really good. I just have a hard time trusting products from Dollar Tree near my eyes. I don't think that's a great idea. I don't trust because I don't think they're federally regulated or inspected. You don't know the conditions of the factories or labs where they were produced in, the countries that they came from. I don't know. So I wouldn't trust things close to my eyes from the Dollar Tree, and maybe that's, you know, my problem, but I just would rather stay safe rather than save the money. So that's how I feel about it. Sunscreen I've been enjoying is the Artless from Heimish. This is a sunscreen that has, I think it's 50 plus. They're pickier over there. Yeah, SPF 50 plus PA, and there's 4 stars. So that means a lot, especially like in Australia and in the Asian countries. You do get requirements of sunscreen to have a certain amount of protection because the sun is so strong and so skin damaging. They have any products that are released as sunscreens have to be effective. So I totally recommend this one from Amazon. It's the Heimish sunscreen. I purchased this back in January. I'm kind of guilty of not really wearing sunscreen in the wintertime when there's not a lot of sun. That's on me. But I wear a lot of clothing. I'm covered up pretty well in the wintertime, so I just don't put the sunscreen on. But I will for summertime, spring and summertime, I will be using this underneath my makeup, and it does play well with makeup. So that's the Heimish, and it's called Artless Tinted Sunscreen. It does have a light, it's not enough for a situation where you would be, it's tinted only to keep it from looking white on your skin and giving flashback. It is not a makeup kind of tinted moisturizer. It's really just tinted to stop the whiteness of the SPF ingredients, the sunscreen ingredients, from flashing back or from being too white. So that's the only tinted part of it. It's not a tinted wear this instead of makeup thing. So I've been using what I have these past couple of months, especially because I've been just not financially in a position where I can buy a lot of makeup. So I was really going through all of my stuff, and it was quite eye-opening to try things I haven't tried in a while that were in my collection. This is the Wet n Wild Tinted Moisturizer. This is something that, and this is the light shade. They tend to be slightly deeper than what you would expect. I actually am wearing this today. It's a nice surprise. It's very inexpensive, and I don't know. I think I gave it a bad grade years ago, and I think because I wasn't taking very good care of my skin and I wasn't moisturizing well, I didn't prep my skin properly so that this would look nice. So I think it's great, and a lot of people like this. This is a real, and I think it's around $6 or $7 now. I haven't checked recently in the stores, but I'll look. But I think it's only $6 or $7, and it's well worth it. Wet n Wild, the tinted moisturizer. But be careful of the shades, because there's the shades are kind of limited, and the light shades are kind of deep. The very porcelain shade would be like a light skin tone, and then the light skin tone, this one, is for light to light medium, and then light medium is more of a medium, so it kind of is a little more, but you can sheer it out. So you know, it's all up to you. Especially in summertime, you may want to go with a shade that's slightly deeper than your skin tone, but I like this one. I am still using this white truffle spray. It comes from Italy. The white truffle extract is what's important, so if you see anything on Amazon that has a white truffle extract in it, the D'Alba one is the one that a lot of people use. It's more expensive than this. It's about twice the price. But I just get this one. This one sells out a lot too, so you'll have to look for it. I got mine on Amazon. It's hard to find things like this in a store nearby where you can just walk into the store and pick it up. I miss that too. I really miss going into a store and being able to poke around in the makeup and look at things and feel things and see a shade in person. You know, I miss that. And now that they have a lot of our makeup locked behind glass cages, it's more difficult to find makeup that you like. But what I'm also finding is that I'm not really that interested anymore, because I have enough makeup that I'm fine with using what I have. And then when it goes, if it gets hard pan or it's, you know, more than a while, I mean, I know with my mascara, this one is the Profusion Faux Lashes. I really like this, and it's $3.98 at Walmart. It's probably more now, but this was, I stopped using this last month because it was past the 4-month phase. I give my mascaras 4 months before I dispose of them. It is much thicker formulation. when you use a mascara on your lashes, you are pulling up any dirt or eye yuck or sediment or anything that's on your eyes or your lids, the oils. And when you're putting it back in there, it's a moist, warm situation. It can grow bacteria over time. So I always get rid of my mascaras after 4 months. They're no good. They can give you styes. They can give you suddenly your eye will be red one day when you wake up. And it's because the bacteria from this has given you a little eye infection. Or eye irritation. So it's not worth it to me for a $3.98 mascara to have it last for 6 months to a year after. Some people put eye drops in and they think shaking it up with the eye drops is going to make it last even longer. Well, you're still just shaking up the bacteria. So I've got to warn you about that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. I don't like to give you rules and regulations, on this channel. It's just the way I do things and it works for me. But this is a health and safety thing, really. And they tell you even on the container, 6 months is the 3 to 6 months is the limit of time. Some people are very suspicious of that. And yes, if you have powder products and you spray them with alcohol once a month, they will last longer than the 12-month window that they say that they were good for. But mascara, don't mess with that. It's so close to your eyes, and you will get styes and eye infections if you don't heed my advice on this. Speaking of mascara, this was purchased, I think, in late December, and I think I might have mentioned it in an earlier video, but I wanted to bring up again how much I disliked this. This is the Extensionist, Telescopic Extensionist from L'Oreal. This was awful. It left little dings. Now I have deep set eyes, and people with deep set eyes often call it hooded eyes, but it's not really. It's deep set eyes. We've always had that, where we have a very protruding bone here. So when our lashes go up with mascara on, the back of the lash hits the top of this bone here. And a deep set eyes person gets this all the time. They get the little dings here. Even hooded eye people don't get that sometimes. So the deep set eye people that have this protruding bone here, this is not good for you. And any kind of heat at all, this really set it off bad. It flaked, it left dings, it was just bad all the way around. So L'Oreal Extensionist. How many mascaras do they need to have? So many. But there is a good mascara that came out. I must go to, one of the stores I go to puts things out before they're supposed to. And I have this one, Sky Tubes. This came out, I don't know, when did I get this? A month and a half ago? I'm just hearing people now, they've just been talking about it like it's only been out a few weeks. I think the company that I go to, and it was a CVS in Connecticut, they had these out on a special little tray on the cart where they were putting makeup up and changing out their sections. And I said, "Oh, is that a new mascara?" She goes, "Yeah, I think it's going to be good." And she's like, "It's tubing." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So it's a tubing mascara from Maybelline. This is the Lash Sensational Sky Tubes. And now mine is about a month old now, and it's still working really well. I only saw it in the one color. The very black is the color. It's got a great wand. It gives you good volume. It gives you good length. And it doesn't give you dings. Now I take this off in the shower because I can stick my face in the water of the shower and that loosens up the little tubes, and then I just kind of pull them off of my lashes lightly and they drop down and I see them swimming down into the drain. I think it's the best way to take off a tubing mascara, but if you're taking them off while you're washing your face at the sink, I would recommend using like a face cloth or a makeup remover cloth and wetting it with warm water, and then you need to have them saturated with water first, and then you can lightly pull them off. I heard somebody say recently they were having difficulty with the tubes not coming off as easily as they said, and I think Some of them, you know, need a little bit of warm water, but in a way, it's kind of good because that means when it's hot out and you've got, you know, you're sweating or whatever, these aren't going to leave dings on your upper eyes. So I do like this. This is almost, I'd almost say this is my favorite mascara right now. I think it's even better than Thrive Cosmetics. And I'm a Thrive Cosmetics aficionado. I love them. So Sky Tubes from Maybelline, I think it's a great mascara. It's a wet formula. It's thick. Once you put it on, you have to, you know, give it a chance to dry a little bit, and then I put a second coat on. I get those big honking lashes I love so much. I've got it on now. I don't have any false lashes on. I'm just wearing the Sky Tubes. But I do totally recommend this mascara. I think it's really good, and it's apparently new. I don't know, a month ago doesn't seem new to me, but yeah, okay. This is castor oil, and I know that I've talked about castor oil in the past, and I have talked about how it has helped with eliminating some of the spots and age spots, and, you know, I call them barnacles. But I decided, because I saw a video where some girl said she put it all over her face and it did amazing things for her skin, and I thought, ew, you know, because this stuff is thick and gloppy. It's like a thick olive oil kind of a feel to it, or grease, you know, it feels like grease going on your face. And I thought, I don't know if I can do that, you know, it just take a blob of it, like a quarter size, and put it between your hands and literally massage it into your whole face, your eyelids, under your eyes, around your nose, and then down your neck, and then down underneath the bra area, everything. And really rub it in. It still feels greasy, but it absorbs in overnight. I do it at night, and I have seen a difference in how my skin looks under makeup. Makeup doesn't grab onto dry patches anymore. It goes on smoother. It's a new use for me. I've never thought to use it all over my face because I'm thinking it will clog all my pores and it's, you know, comedogenic or whatever. But it's not. It seemed to help my skin look better. So, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a nurse or anything. I'm just a person. I'm just a girl who has textured skin, and right here especially, and it's helping me. It's helping me a lot. So castor oil, and you can get this anywhere really. Get a dark glass bottle if you can. If you can get the organic cold pressed, even better, because it's the purer form and the most natural form you can get, the better. Don't get it mixed with other oils. Just get pure castor oil on its own. Don't get it watered down with other stuff, because this is an amazing product, and I think it's not as expensive as a lot of fancy dancy face creams who have done much less for me. So castor oil. There is a I'm still using this for my cleanser, and I still love it, and it's from the Dollar Tree. This is the Glowing Vitamin C Facial Cleanser. This is the kind of blush pale pink color one. If you go into Dollar Tree, they still have it, the cleanser. I don't use anything else of their skincare stuff for cleansing, but I love this, and I have a backup of it. This is the best cleanser, absolutely. For their hydrating, this is their Hydro Water Gel. This is like the Neutrogena Hydro Water Gel. I've been using this as a moisturizer, testing it out to see if it's good. This is from the Dollar Tree. And it seems to be working fine. I don't see anything, I don't see any problems with it. It seems to do what it says. My skin feels very hydrated. So that's that. I wanted to talk about these gloves because people have asked me about them in real life. It's a glove that has nubbies on it, built into it. And I thought it would be great for dishwashing, you know, because then I could scrub the pans using this. But it actually is so slippery. I have already broken a large and a small plate trying to wash them with this. and turn them over and rinse them out, they slip right through. So they're very, very slippery. So I wouldn't recommend them. You can get them in Walmart. I'm not sure if they have them at Dollar Tree or not. But these gloves are like silicone gloves. They just are too slippery to work very well. This was Extra Care Extreme Renewal Cream. I use this as a hand cream, and I had come in from doing a bunch of errands and stuff, and paper bags, I was folding them, I was doing a lot of stuff when my fingers were so dry on the ends and they were cracking. And so I literally opened this up and I stuck my hands in like this, and then I rubbed the cream into my nail beds and my hands, and I'm telling you, my hands were like instantly hydrated. This stuff works so well. It's supposed to be like First Aid Beauty, but I use it as hand cream and I think it works really well. It's from the Dollar Tree, and again, I'm hesitant to use some stuff from the Dollar Tree because I don't know about the inspections and verifying the ingredients. They can say they have these ingredients in the product, but you don't know if they really do or not because there's no regulations testing to see if they're in there. So okay, for eyeshadow palettes I have been using this, and I know this irritates you probably, but this is the you can get it on Amazon. It's about 10 bucks, and I use it. It's got all the colors I need. These blank silver squares are blank pans. Those had shimmers that had glitter in them, and I don't wear glitter. But like if you look at this, you've got your top row here is all your neutrals right here, and then you've got your orange, yellows, your pinks, your green, yellow greens, your greens, purples, turquoises, and then your neons at the bottom. Any color scheme that you want to use is here. And I really love, using them. Some of them are shimmer and some of them are matte. And it's just, to me, it's the most perfect all-purpose palette. I'm wearing it today, and I think that it's a wonderful, if you just want to minimalize your makeup routine and just have one, because I have tons and tons of eyeshadow palettes. I have decluttered a lot of them, but it's one of those things where decluttering an eyeshadow palette is like, you might as well use it, use it up. So I'm using them up to get rid of them. But this is, I guess they call it, doing a panning your makeup. But I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because I never watch pan makeup videos. I find them kind of boring, so I don't do that. But I will use what I have before I go out and buy anything new. And it's been very good at keeping me at bay in Ulta, whatever. I don't shop in Sephora anymore. I just haven't found a reason to spend that much money on stuff. So Sephora is kind of part of my history now. But Ulta, I still go into Ulta, and they still have some great things. And this is my all-around kit. This is if you don't want to buy anything. You can get this. It's got your bronzer, 2 blushes, a highlighter, and it's got some eyeshadows, and you can use those in blushing or highlighting as well. I've already hit pan on some of those eyeshadows. But that is the Nude York from Rude Cosmetics, and Rude Cosmetics has some wonderful products. So I've still got this, and I've used several varieties of this. I used a version of this. I used a Nude York when I went to Reno back in 2022. This is what I brought across the country for my makeup, along with mascara and a lipstick. I use this, and it worked really well. So that worked out. Again, I'm using everything up until it's gone, and I may or may not replace it. As far as perfumes go, I am using, this is my spring scent. This is the 7 Virtues, and this is Blackberry Lily. This is the Rollerball Travel. Once you smell this, it's springtime. Springtime and summertime, absolutely beautiful. It's the blackberry comes through and a little bit of floral there. I think it's really nice. It works really well for me. Lipsticks I have brought down to very few, but I have been trying some of the newfangled ones. Some I like, some I don't like. This is the Jelly Drip from Wet n Wild. Yeah, this is the one that smells. This one is more of a watermelon shade, and it has a very melony kind of flavor to it. It didn't last very long, and it did go into the lines in my lips, so it wasn't a very good lip cover per se. And this other one, which is from NYX, this is the Jelly Job. I really liked this one actually. This one was very nice. I put this in the center. Has a very strange applicator, flat plastic applicator. But out of the two, the Wet n Wild or the Jelly Job from NYX, I would say that the NYX Jelly Job is a better product than this one. This one, again, it just goes right into the lines in your lips, and if you get really close up, you can see where it goes into the lines. So the Jelly Drip from Wet n Wild was a fail as a over-the-top lip gloss. I did get the Wet n Wild. This is another gloss. This warms up anything you have that's cool. But their lip glosses are pretty good. They're general lip glosses, not the Jelly Drip one. The best in the group is actually Essence, and this is Candy Store. This is my favorite lip gloss, I think, right now, is Candy Store from the Essence company. Essence makes some really good stuff. Now, Essence and Catrice are under the same mothership, made in Germany, and Essence was generally made for teens and very young adults, and Catrice was made for adults over 25. So that's really the only difference. The products are more complementary to older people, and then the Essence stuff is generally more complementary to younger people. Tend to be for more oily skin, acne-prone skin, young eyes. But the lip gloss from Essence I really love. And again, Candy Shop is the name of this, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's got pigmentation. Just a really pretty color. All right, on that note, I think I've covered everything for now. I will be back sooner with another video. I have a lot up my sleeve for you coming up, and I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have some kindness in you, please click on subscribe, and if not, at least if you could just thumbs up the video, that would be great, or leave a comment below. And I'm really happy to see you here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Have a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.